Good morning, go-getters. It's time to wake up to living life on your own terms. Welcome to FU Money Mornings with me, Brent Attaway, where we talk business, marketing, sales, leadership, and pretty much anything that helps us create more FU money and live in an amazing FU money lifestyle. Let's dive in. Good morning. I have a great action plan for you today, all about helping you get more leads and sales. How would you like some of that? Lead towards that FU money. Well, before I go into the formula, before I go into the breakdown of this, I have a short story for you, and it'll illustrate the point. And I think we can all relate, even if we're a very small startup or just getting started in our sales career, or we have a $100 million company and we have a big team and we're managing. It doesn't matter. These situations, this story will relate to everyone. So just recently, I had a vendor who reached out to me that I had canceled their services, at minimum delayed their services. And because of that, they found themselves, I didn't know, this is unbeknownst to me. That's a good time to use that phrase. Unbeknownst that they were in a, let's just say, a desperate situation. I think we've all been there at some point or another. And they were really relying on me starting my services back up and giving them some money, right? So they can get their bills paid and whoever else paid on their team and whatever else. Well, they had come across in a weird, desperate way, which I also understood. I can understand. I've been felt desperate before where I was really needed something to work for me. But at the same time, it was just came across weird for me as a client, as you can imagine. I'm like, wait a second. I won't go into the details. It's not about them as much as if you can relate to this in their shoes. Have you ever been where you were crossing your fingers hoping that, hey, if I don't get this payment from this person or if I don't close this deal, I don't know how I'm going to make it across town to pick up my child because I don't have enough gas in the tank and I'm already overdraft in my bank account. Have you ever been there? Or may not be that desperate sounding. You might be a large company, but hey, how are you going to pay payroll? How are we going to do this? How are we going to get lending? We need funding. We need this. How, if we don't get this funding, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to lay these layoffs and all this other stuff, right? So either way, I think we can relate. But the problem with this is the desperation and neglect. And I want to talk about this neglect from one viewpoint. I know there are other viewpoints. Please understand that I'm not that naive and stupid. At least not all the way. What I am is I want to focus on something in this scenario, this story that would have solved all of their problem. And that is this. They weren't getting leads and sales. They weren't making it a priority. They were making it a priority that they were the creators of this thing that they were doing, of their product and delivering their product. And they wanted to give this phenomenal experience of delivering their product. But they weren't focused on leads and sales. Now, let me remind you, you'll hear me talk about LSD a lot because it's easy to remember. It means leads, sales, delivery. Another way, marketing to generate leads, sales conversion, so leads to becoming sales. And then after you convert them to sales, how do you deliver or fulfill on your services? LSD. Got it? Well, those first two is what I want to talk about. When you lose focus on those first two and you just think, hey, let's just focus on delivery, I can guarantee you're going to hurt at the next transition of time period that's for you. And most of you, that's next month. So like, you delay sales for a month, you're going to hurt. Some of you that are larger, you delay sales focus and marketing focus for a quarter, you're going to feel it the next quarter. And for you $100 million companies, you're going to feel it, quarterly and maybe annually. So at first, if you're neglecting it and you're just letting it ride out and you're just in other words, the organic pieces of leads coming in and sales, when you're larger, you might not even feel it, but you're definitely seeing a decline and no growth. But I'm going to talk to you small business owners because that's the majority of us here, and home service pros in sales, in marketing, and even the business owners. Guys, if your main focus is not on leads, you are doing it wrong. Marketing, marketing, marketing. And your secondary focus is how do I turn those leads into sales? Let's just group them together, marketing and sales. That LS of the LSD, the LS is your first priority until at least you get to 1 million in revenue if you're a small company. And it depending on where you're at in your personal sales goals right now, it might be $100,000 or $200,000 for you. Until you hit that mark, or 300,000 or a million for you, maybe depends on what you're selling. But until you hit your mark, you don't do anything else. You assume your delivery is good enough until your customers tell you you suck. Okay. And you obviously should fix some things. There's some problems that might come up, and it'll be very apparent that you need to fix that delivery immediately. However, the biggest problem you have, just like this vendor of mine, is not that they know how to deliver. It's they don't have sales. They don't have leads to talk to, and they can't even convert them to sales if I wanted to. In fact, I was on the phone. I gave him a call. I said, now, hold on a second. How is it that you're relying on me starting up? What's going on? And we got truthful. And essentially, I just said, hey, I'm going to give you a little unsolicited coaching, and just said, if you're not focusing and you don't have a pipeline and you're telling me you don't have an email list and you don't have these things in place to ensure that you're always have your next sale coming down the pipeline, that is a big problem. You're not going to be, even if you do get payment from me or any other client and we start our services back up with you, you're still going to be in the same hole next month. So why don't you just start now by building your list of leads that you could reach out to today? And that's my advice for you. What are you doing right now to focus on leads and sales? And a question for you, trick question. When should you stop focusing on leads and sales? Is there ever a time you should stop focusing on that? You, the one in charge of your income. Hell no. Never should you stop focusing on marketing and sales, ever. In fact, that's the marketing you should never let go of as a responsibility. You can delegate it, but you meet every week. You know exactly where your conversions are. You know exactly how your company makes money or how you bring in sales. You know exactly how it works. You might delegate it, but you never let it go. Okay? All right. So never, answer to the trick question. And what I would like to instill in your mind today is this. FU money, if you want to make FU money, where it comes in and you live life on your own terms. Remember, it means something different to everyone. It doesn't mean you're making so much money that you can just say fuck off to everybody. It means I'm living my ideal life on my terms right now. I have the clients I like getting. I have a consistent flow of those clients from my marketing efforts, and I have a consistent sales process that works. And therefore, I can predict my income. I know I can go on a vacation. I know that I have more time with my family. I know that I can invest in this new thing over here, and it's not going to stress me out because I know where my money comes from. I have FU money, and there's different levels of that. Well, I'm talking about that money. If you want that, you have to get good at marketing, aka lead generation and interest, and getting them to actually want to talk with you. And in home services, which I'm more familiar with, is you got to set those appointments all day long. Somebody's got to be setting appointments. When I say all day long, I just mean that's on your mind all day long. Even if you're a one-man band, you're like generating leads, you're closing those deals, and you're passing them off to your fulfillment team, right? And your delivery team. Well, you need to go right back at it and start generating more leads. Start posting on social media. Start doing something. But here's my tip for you to get started today: the action plan. If you're struggling with this and you're feeling like that vendor that I was talking about earlier, where you're like, well, yeah, I've been in those situations. I'm in that situation. I don't want to be in that situation. Well, here's the formula. Always be generating leads and always be booking sales appointments if it takes a sales appointment, but always get them to the point of sale. Your priorities that day, every single day, is wake up. What are you doing to generate more interest? So therefore they will eventually raise their hand and call you up and say, or message you and say, hey, I want to talk. I need a quote on a roof, or I need this. They're ready to discuss it. Right. And then always be booking appointments so you can go close deals. Well, the action plan would be simple. Very simple. The way you attract leads is you create a lead magnet. A lead magnet is simply and I can go into another episode on just lead magnets, but a lead magnet in short is something that's free, that takes maybe 5 minutes to consume, and you give it away to prospects to help them. It's an education-based thing that you're doing for them, okay? And you are allowing them a taste of what you can do for them. You're showing them results in advance by showing them some answers, by answering questions for them. A good lead magnet in solar, for instance, is, the top 5 ways to, this is really, I say a good one. We can go over several other ones, but I'm going to go off the top of my head. But it's, top 5 ways to cut your bill by $50 a month with these 5 tricks or something like that, right? And you're doing energy efficient type tricks and hacks. Well, that if they're interested in that, they probably, not always, but they probably are interested in any energy saving tips, including solar. They're also aware that they want to lower their bill, which solar can solve that problem as well. So there is a lead magnet. You didn't start by saying, hey, I'll give you a free proposal. That's fine. That's for low-hanging fruit. But I'm talking about if you want new leads in your pipeline that aren't necessarily ready to buy from you now, but you can bring them in and nurture them in, then get a lead magnet. You can Google it now, how to create a lead magnet. I mean, I have a full training course on this kind of stuff, but you can just Google it now. And it'll walk you through the first steps, or at least help you understand now what it is. Get a lead magnet. That lead magnet, now how do you put it out there? It's called a lead funnel. A lead funnel is a series of landing pages that offers your lead magnet for free. Hey, here's this downloadable guide. Put your name and email right here, and I'll send it to your email right now for free. So they download it. When they enter their name and email, bobsmith@gmail.com, guess what? Bob gets automatically, from the form they filled out online, is entered into their CRM. That CRM is hopefully set up so it nurtures and follows up with them and confirms that, hey, here's your free guide, hope you love it, and starts educating them and nurturing them, and even positions a special, urgent, limited offer if they act, now, or act in the next week, or act whenever that deadline is to give them urgency. That will get your low-hanging fruit of, if Bob was truly interested in solar, he will jump up and raise his hand. If he's not, he'll just ignore your offer. The point is you should have that automated. Well, guess what? Now, if you just have a lead magnet with a lead funnel, you are always generating leads. You can put that on social media for free. You can organically just give it out to people. If in a Facebook group, if somebody asks, hey, what do you guys, in home groups, you can say, hey, here's some tips. I saw you guys were looking for tips on how to save money on your utilities. I created this free report. Here it is. Give them the link. Okay. You'll get leads. You can run ads to this and test it out. $10 Facebook ads, that is $10 a month or a day, not a month, $10 a day. Start small, or have an agency run it to this lead magnet. The point is this, guys. If you're in a situation where you're like, oh, I'm dried up, well, it's because you're not thinking how to generate leads. You're just thinking, I need sales. Guys, sales come from leads. Where do leads come from? Well, you can go knock a door. That's totally fine too. But there's other ways to do this. What if you don't knock doors? What if you're terrified of the doors? What if that's just never going to be in the cards for you? How are you going to generate leads? A lead magnet with a lead funnel. And even if you do knock doors, by the way, for your lead gen, go ahead and do both. See what happens. It doesn't hurt to have a supplemental lead flow coming in, right? So that's your action plan. Please, guys, don't get in a desperate situation where you're not creating FU money simply because you don't know how to generate a lead, and you're not even sure how to get them nurtured over to the sales process. So always be generating leads, always have a pipeline that's renewing and getting new people in there, always be following up and nurturing them along the way. So when they are ready to meet, you're right there in front of them. When they are ready to buy that offer that you have, that special thing that they've been looking at, now they know who to go to. I really hope this was helpful, and until next time, keep living life on your own terms. And that's a wrap on another FU Money Morning. Look, if you're hungry for more, remember you can join us in the free FU Money community, and let's make those dreams a reality. Just go to ilovefumoney.com to join the community now. Until next time, keep living life on your own terms.